Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Post Fight. And in this edition of Post Fight, I'll be doing Post Fight UFC Fight Night Almeida versus Lewis. And yeah, for this card, I think I went 7-2-1. It was a lot of fights that fell out. So probably really fight the card that should have like 14, 15 fights. But this fight fell out, this fight fell out, this fight fell out, this fight fell out. Like so many fights fell out. But then the one fight was a draw. So, it really ended up being 9 fights you could win or lose. And of those 9 fights, I went 7-2. So win-loss ratio 7-2. So 7 wins, 2 losses. Pretty solid card. A card, to be proud of. It really was one big standout loss and a big one. But as far as, the prediction go, solid night and can't complain at all. Like, it's a good night, want more wins like that, more predictions like that, going solid like that. But hey, it's always something to work on, something to improve on, and something to bounce back from. But yeah, let's get to the first L of the night. Was the first fight of the night. It was Kyle Fernandez versus Mark Jacasey. And yeah, it's kind of, I was definitely, I already even said in the prediction and everything, like didn't really know who the guy was, but I was kind of just etch a sketching this guy out, just trying to make a figure that really wasn't there. And I feel like he did have a lot of skills that I thought he would have. I think his real issue that he had in this fight was that he didn't really press the action too much on the feet. I think he had hurt Jacasey hurt in the legs, like his calf kicks were hurting Jacasey. Jacasey looked tired and fatigued, and I feel like he was too comfortable on bottom instead of just trying to really defend and take down heavy. It didn't look to capitalize on the feet. I feel like he was thinking he could just get a submission from just being in his guard or having Jacasey in his guard instead of just like making the submission opportunity happen by actually hurting Jacasey and making him uncomfortable, making him shooting like an actual ugly shot. Like, actually go out there, hurt him, wobble him. Don't just go out there and just pressure him. Then, really for the most part, kind of like not really defend the takedown with full effort and, being comfortable with it. I could see in the first round he get a couple sweeps. He was going for submission hard, but the second and third round, like, he really wasn't doing nothing too effective off his back. Like, he was definitely doing work, but nothing really effective. Like, it was, if you're going to be doing that, just stand up or try to stand up. And I'm not going to say like it's the easiest thing in the world, but I feel like he was so content that he felt like he could get a submission that he didn't really chase the stand-up as hard as he could have chased it. And I feel like he was the fresher fighter. Like Casey looked like a little bit like flat out there, and he still didn't really press the action as much as he could have. So debuting fighter to make debuting issues. And as far as I'm going forward, I think Kyle Fernandez could sneakily, pick up some wins in the UFC. But I know he probably can come in as a dog in the next fight. But I don't think this performance is definitely not enough to really just write him off. So, it's your first fight. You get a little rub, then you come out better. So he's a scary fighter going forward, at least as far as predicting. Because you can like, hey, he looked like this against this guy, so he lost, so I'm going to pick against him the next time. Like, then that'd be the same guy that come back. He lost when you picked him. Then you fade him next time and he wins. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Cautious about him. Probably really depending on who they match him against. Gonna not pick, not bet at all as far as on that. But Jacase looked, I know he did what he did. I'm not gonna say Jacase looked good, but he did what he had to do, and he was able to fight a veteran performance, and he got his hand raised. So good for Jacasey. Then the second L of the card, and the last L of the card was what's his name? Gabriel Bonfim versus Nicholas Dalby. And I thought Gabriel Bonfim, I thought he was gonna run right through Nicholas Dalby. I'm not gonna, what am I trying to say? I know that the concern of Dalby, taking him to the deep waters and drowning him was definitely a big issue. It could be a potential threat, but I thought he'd be able to get him out of there early so he wouldn't have to deal with that. But he wasn't. Dalby came out there, pressed action from the start of the fight. Bonfim was able to have a good first round, but he was ultimately not able to deal with that pace because he had never dealt with it before, and Dalby put it on him full rush. And also the things that really deterred me made me more favorable about him. He looked good, and everything was lined up for him, young and like full skill set. Dalby, really like a journeyman. He's pushing 40. I was like, it's lining up right, but this is another lesson. Like, don't just because it's lined up, look at it like it's lined up right. Don't fully go all high confidence or lock confidence or max investment or anything on somebody unless it's like fully in it. Just because it looks it, don't fully go in there because he still hadn't really passed the cardio test. His younger was shorter brother. He hadn't really passed that test either. They seem like hot heads. Not saying hot heads necessarily, but they come with a lot of early tenacity, I guess. A lot of early heat, and they could fade out. And that was a clear example in this fight. But hey, I don't know. You can't write him off just yet either. Probably get him a good value his next fight, depending on who you match him up with, and he probably should win his next fight. And we have seen, well, at least I'm gonna say one fighter we've seen have fading issues early on in their career, and then were able to turn around and become one of the greatest fighters of all time, and that was Amanda Nunes. We've seen her against what's her name? Kat Zingano. Was able to stall her out and then suplex her and TKO'd her. I'm trying to think of this other chick, and that wasn't very good. It was like at least one other fighter was able to do that to her early on in her career, even earlier than the Kat Zingano fight. And then it was most recently was Juliana Pena in the first fight. So she was able to turn around her career, work on that and not really be as big of an issue in her career, or not even something people really bring up as much about her. So he's still only 26. He could change that around, but we shall see. It definitely just shuts up my whole thing of saying, oh, this guy gonna be definitely top 10 at the very least, because it's no guarantee now. I'm saying he could still be it. It's just one loss, one setback, but he got some work to do. He got a lot of work to do to bounce back. Yeah. Good win for Nicholas Dalby. Do I think he's going very much further? No, I think it's a good win, but it's going to put him up there to somebody that's going to do him how he should have got done in this fight. Somebody just flat out dog him in his, well, I don't know, the next one might do, but he started really to break into the rankings of any sort. He's going to get flat out dog. I would like to see a Nicholas Dalby versus like a Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland needs a bounce back fight. That'd be good. Or somebody like that. But maybe Jeff Neal. I don't know. I'm trying to throw some names out there. Some people that need wins that Dalby could give to them. But yeah, that's designed. Like, to be honest, Dalby just gonna be used to give some guys some wins and get cut. He's up there in age. Well, then on his side, he's gonna get a chance to test himself against some ranked guys. Before he goes out. And he's sure gonna get that test, and he's gonna get him some wins. But yeah, good win for him. But we shall see. And main event, Jelton Almeida versus Derek Lewis. Yeah, honestly, thought this fight would end in the finish either way. I know high confidence in Jelton Almeida. He went out there and did what he had to do. And honestly, not an impressive performance necessarily. But in all honesty, I think that was the performance he kind of needed, because he's been getting all these quick finishes, but now he has been able to go 5 rounds, and whether it would be like a 5 rounds or just, like a back and forth 5-round war, or just like a coasting 5 rounds, the experience of going 5 rounds now will help him. It's not really much ahead of him. So he needed a 5-round experience. Well, he needed a 5-round fight, 5-round experience, because it's not really, again, not much ahead of him. Pretty much maybe a Ciryl Gane fight, maybe a Curtis Blades rematch, and with this performance, he might get not a rematch, but a reschedule. A Curtis Blades reschedule might be in the books for him, after that performance, because it wasn't the dominant performance that, we have become accustomed to from Jelton Almeida. So, yeah, it might be a case that they're not going to give him that Ciryl Gane fight, or they're not going to give him that next title, next this, next that. So, that type of performance says you need a big win, or you need a big performance and a big win, or you need 2 more big wins type of thing, instead of, it was a big, like this first round domination, like you're next. If Sergey Pavlovich or Aspinall falls out, then here you go. You hop right into that mix. Or, I don't know, if they win the belt, their interim belt, then the winner of that gets injured, or, he was basically next. But if that performance, again, I think it's the performance he needed, but it's also a performance that might delay him. And now, again, he might need that delay. So I think he went from, maybe being right behind Aspinall and the Pavlovich fight winner or whatnot. Or maybe just Ciryl Gane's next matchup. But at that performance, Ciryl Gane could probably try to look to duck him and say, oh, that was a lackluster performance. I went out there and just destroyed Spivak, who beat Derek Lewis even more dominantly, so I don't really need to fight this Almeida guy. His head just thinking that's a dangerous matchup for me stylistically, and yeah, I'm not gonna say I need to fight that match. So that kind of lets Ciryl Gane potentially sit out and just wait for the weight class, or for the heavyweight division to, I guess, settle out and get the Aspinall Pavlovich winner. John Jones come back from injury, fight Stipe Miocic, retire, or whatever happens after that fight. And yeah, that could be Gane, as opposed if if Almeida went out there and just got a first round submission dominantly and impressively, then it would be case like, oh God, you're ducking him. Like, this guy is next. So you really want to be sit around and wait or hope for anything, you got to go through him. Now he don't really necessarily have to go through him, but hey, that might be the next matchup. I'm doing a whole lot of yapping, but yeah, I feel like he needed, because again, it's not much ahead of him except these big matches. Like, who you gonna fight next? Blaze, probably the lowest guy he gonna fight next. Then outside of that, it's Cyril Gane, Aspinall, Pavlovich, Jones, Miocic. It's just nothing but big matches up for him. Just nothing but big matchups for him next. So 5 rounds was crucial for him, and a win's a win at the end of the day. And yeah, that's the video. Went 7-2. Let's not even just do the draws or this and that. But I was right to feel not so confident about Renat Fakhretdinov, and the fight played out as it did. But yeah, so I was right to feel a lack of confidence there, and so perfect prediction in the sense of a prediction that didn't went to a draw. But I guess I didn't predict a draw, but I'm saying as far as the level of confidence in how the fight played out. But yeah, so 7-2, 7 wins, 2 losses, 7-9. So pretty good card, and on to the next. Peace.